Mend it.
Ava Mendes it. Hello.
My
I just got your
girl.
attention.
Yeah, say Andy's on board now.
My girl. She's my girl.
Better than Rosario Dawson.
That's my girl as well. That's my girl as well. They're both good.
They're both, yeah. They're just, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great.
What are we talking about?
You know what it is.
I forgot.
You know what time it is. We're just going to watch an NBA basketball game and then discuss what we saw.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're just gonna play NBA Jam and talk about it.
He's on fire.
This is what we played.
That'd be a podcast. That's already a podcast.
Yeah.
Probably.
Like 1,000 video game podcasts.
I find that people are really into like murder podcasts or true crime.
Oh yeah, true
Yeah.
crime is huge.
Why is
Long
that
ago.
Should we
biggest
switch?
thing.
Should we switch brands?
I can say
Should
I
we
have like
switch our
6 of
message?
them on my podcasting
Yeah.
right now. Like
What are you? Why are you in the true
We'll do
crime
a what we
world?
remember about murders that
I
we
love
committed.
crime. It's great
Why though?
because people need to be murdered.
Oh my god, is that why people listen to it? Is it
No,
something
there's-
like you need to get out of your system?
I don't know. True crime in general is just a big hit right now. That's why you have all the million CSIs.
Yeah, but why do you
and
like it? Why do
NCISs
you
and-
like it?
Why do
was the
I like it?
question.
Because I like the mystery. I like I liked watching Mindhunter. I like this.
You like the murder
thrill of the catch.
mystery
But
thriller.
I will say I hate unsolved ones.
Ah.
I will not, and I refuse. I refuse to watch
Unsolved
unsolved mysteries. I will not watch it.
Oh,
I need
man.
resolution to my stories.
My 90s Saturday was
being scared out of your mind watching unsolved mysteries.
no, it would go.
Here we go.
It would go. Was it 8 o'clock was America's Most Wanted. 9 o'clock half hour block was Cops. 9:30 half hour block was Cops. 10 o'clock Mad TV. 90s all the way.
Why did unsolved mysteries fit into that?
Well, it's America's Most Wanted.
Oh, okay.
Oh, boy.
That's what I'm
Those
saying.
are unsolved mysteries.
That's true, actually.
Oh,
I
I
also
never
didn't
saw
watch
it.
that show too because they're like Unsolved Mysteries would be like, this crazy person did this thing, and they're still missing, and I'm like, oh, okay.
When you got to the end of the Zodiac Killer movie, were you really upset?
Okay, Zodiac is the one unsolved mystery I enjoy. Like the movie Zodiac, I think is really fun. I like it a lot. It's great.
I'll have to watch it.
I was actually
want
meaning to rewatch it just recently. I was gonna have Holly watch it.
I just put
It's
on.
kinda boring.
Because
Uh,
I was
kinda
like,
boring, but
because
it's
we
good.
we finished watching Mindhunter, and I was like, if you liked Mindhunter, you would like Zodiac.
I like Seven.
So-
That's my movie of choice for that kind of thing.
You
Seven is
guys,
good.
I went a different way. I watched Mindhunter, and then I just started watching Silence of the Lambs because I
Ooh.
was like, that kind of
See,
fits.
and I don't. I
The TV show?
show?
Because don't they have a TV show? Did I make that up?
Silence of the Lambs TV show.
Yeah.
See, even
Hannibal?
then,
Oh wait,
I think.
I think there was.
Yeah.
I actually, I prefer not Red Dragon. What's the one that was a ripoff of Red Dragon? Isn't it Mindhunter? Like, there's actually a movie called Mindhunter.
Manhunter is the first
Manhunter,
one.
That's what I'm
Manhunter's
thinking of. Manhunter.
Well, that's the first one in,
Yeah.
in the series.
And I prefer that one over Silence of the Lambs.
Oh really?
Yeah.
It's very 80s and cool.
I'll have to check it out.
You never saw Manhunter?
No,
Manhunter's good. It's
good.
I mean, I know
Red Dragon's
of
good
it.
too, because that's basically like a remake almost.
What's the
of
fourth one?
Manhunter,
Oh, wait, there's Hannibal, and then there's Red
but
Dragon.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
There might be a fourth one. I don't know.
There's one after that. I think.
Probably.
There's like a young.
Young Hannibal.
there was a TV
there is a
series.
young Hannibal movie, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
The Adventures of Young Indiana Hannibal.
I'd watch it. Yeah, true crime.
Cannibalistic
True crime's all the
pop-
rage. I got
Yeah.
I got the My Favorite Murder podcast. I got True Crime Japan. I got there's
So
one by an
you're one of
Australian
those
guy.
people.
Yeah,
You're one of those people.
How?
I'm not as crazy.
Wow,
I will
wow.
say like the My Favorite Murder one has like an absurd fandom. Like
It does.
That's my wife's into that like
My
super
wife.
big time. And then like she has a whole group of like her law school friends and then people they've met through being fans of this podcast too that are all in this crazy group of people.
All right, we got to switch
overboard.
brands,
They're
guys.
overboard.
Yeah.
We're doing it wrong.
Doing murder movies. Let's do Zodiac. Let's just do Zodiac, and then we'll get it.
Do
we'll get
nothing
on
but
that train.
murder films.
Ooh, murder films. We should do. No, never mind.
Oh, I want to hear what the suggestion was going to be.
Oh, I was gonna say we should do what we remember about murders that we committed.
Okay, so I remember being. I remember having the knife.
I'm recording.
Wait, what?
You're
recording this?
Yeah, it's a podcast.
So I
Brad,
can't
you
talk-
betrayed my
It's
trust.
on the record.
Oh no!
Did you guys know it's on the record?
You send this immediately to the
Yeah.
FBI.
100%. I sent it. I put it in. I put this on a cassette tape. I put it in the mail. I sent it to the FBI. And they say, "Stop sending these to me. We don't know what this is."
Until they finally stop listening, and then you start sending them.
Spent a lot of money on
stuff.
postage over the years. This is my hardship that I have to bear.
Can you verify this? I don't need to. Is that verified? Sure.
Okay, yeah.
Get the fuck out.
We're done here.
Are we still doing the movie we're planning to do?
What are we
it
talking
seems so
about?
off. It seems so off now.
I forgot.
We're gonna do Bruce Almighty.
Oh, jeez. Wow, that's very off-brand now. I'm not in the mindset now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like not in the mindset now.
Let's do a murder movie.
We can do a murder movie.
Thanks to our Patreon supporters, Matt J, Carson C, Jacqueline M, Claire G, Big Time Jim. If you like our podcast, want to support it, get access to some exclusive episodes, be part of the reason why we're going to be making content every week going forward, it's all because of our patrons. Sign up for our Patreon, patreon.com/whatweremember. Thanks.
Tony Cucagna stars as
Walter Mondo.
I watched that movie.
Walter Monde. Has anybody thought about that guy in years?
We did today, just now.
Guys, I have so much to talk about.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
Now I'm Andy Hubert.
I'm Bradley Jones.
And this is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember what happened in a movie we haven't seen in a very, very long time. This is what we remember about The Fly.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
I almost forgot. I almost forgot the line.
Yeah, that was good.
That was great.
That was good.
Pressure off now. I like it. You're in the driver's seat,
Driver's seat.
if you will.
So The Fly.
Yeah, we're talking about the remake with David Cronenberg's and Jeff Goldblum's.
The David
Cronenberg'd
Cronenberg's
up.
remake.
I saw the OOG one a few years ago.
The Jack Nicky one?
Jack Nicky ain't in it. He ain't in it.
Jack Nicholas?
Nah, dog. You're thinking
Jack
a Little Shop
Nicholas.
of Horrors.
Oh, I am thinking of Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
I think I'm thinking of Baby Shop of Horrors. You're right. How'd you know that? I was thinking of Baby
because
Shop of
that's
Horrors.
his movie.
That's true.
That's his horror
true.
film. I
That's
forget.
true.
There's
crossover.
There's I don't know if there's a famous. Maybe Vincent Price shows up for like a hot second because he's in like every horror film.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
not a
like,
bad
I
guess.
want to be a fly. That wasn't quite Vincent Price, more like Boris
close enough.
Karloff.
We're talking about another Gina Davis movie too. It's
We
exciting.
are. Gina Davis is in this movie.
Yep.
David Cronenberg in the director's seat.
I'm David Cronenberg. Can you? I like our body dysmorphia.
This
films.
movie needs to fly.
I need. It'll be flying off the shelves, you see. When I get this thing in the theaters, it's gonna be good.
It's going to be very interesting.
Yes.
Oh, I would not want to be in any of those production meetings.
They're so slow.
Yeah, it's just them talking about making.
So, Jeff Goldblum,
bad puns about
we're
flies.
gonna have you inside this teleporter tube, and you're gonna get the fly in there too. And
I was going to do a Jeff Goldblum impression. I realized I don't have a Jeff Goldblum impression.
you know, it's quite a nice
Hi,
piece of thing you got there. What is it? Was it velour or is that
it's a
He's always very tactile.
polyester.
He is tactile.
I see him in Conan interviews. He's always touching people.
He tends to have like a slight upward inflection at the end of sentences too.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I see that. I see.
That's
yeah.
really good.
Just go and take him down. Take him out.
do your stuff.
I'm impressed with these impressions.
Oh no,
These are bad. These are terrible.
not good. Not
Yeah, they're bad.
not good.
I could not
So
do a good job.
we got an '80s movie. I think it was like 1985.
Remaking of a 50s or 60s movie, hot off like The Thing doing this, and
Oh yeah,
some
this is
other
definitely a '50s movie.
some horror movies just like getting remade. People are complaining now about remakes, but they were doing it back then, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is early, probably early in the remake.
In the remake cycle.
Yeah. So Jeff Goldblum is a young scientist, right?
Well, yeah,
Handsome
hot
scientist,
shot
man.
Scientist.
Emphasis on the hot.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's muscular.
Oh yeah, he's
Looks good,
shirtless
man.
a few times in this movie.
Yeah, he's working in the lab shirtless.
Yeah, working in the lab shirtless.
And he's working on a teleporter
Yes.
machine.
Teleportation.
It's gonna change mass transit by a global scale, being able to move people around from place to
One place to the next.
And Sheena Davis, I said Sheena, but whatever.
Yep, Sheena.
Sheena Davis is also a scientist, or just like a girlfriend, or just like a fellow coworker. What's her deal? What's her thing?
I think he meets her at a bar. I think he meets her at a bar
and takes her
tries to-
back to the lab to like seduce.
Show off.
Yep.
He's like, check out my lab.
He's like, back to reality. Let's go back to the lab. Whoops, there went gravity. Whoops, I'm a fly.
this is a weird song.
It's a crossover?
So I'm guessing that he successfully uses the teleporter once to like move a dog or like a
That's exactly what I was saying.
frog
I think
or something?
He does a dog.
Yeah.
Does he,
Like Back to the
I assume
Future
he owns
style?
a dog. Yeah, exactly. Like an Einstein style thing.
I don't know if he...
It's like, boy, I hope I don't blow up my dog. And it works.
I think he would start smaller than a dog. I don't think he's going to use a dog.
a baby.
A baby. A baby could be smaller than a dog.
Is it bigger than a bread
I think he's
box?
using like a hamster or something, or a mouse, maybe.
Maybe it goes bad. Even. Maybe he even like turns it inside out and it explodes. Because we're talking about D. Cronenberg here.
That's true.
Yeah.
There's gonna be stuff
That's true.
exploding. There's gonna be bones breaking. There's gonna be guts and gore galore.
Crone's bringing out the D for this one.
What's that
boy.
mean?
Well, I don't know. I reversed his name.
Oh, I get it. Pretend like I get it.
No, don't. Please don't. Yeah, and I mean, I think he tries this thing a couple times, and it just goes wrong every time.
Is there a critical moment where like maybe his funding's about to be pulled if it still doesn't work or something?
Ooh,
and
that's
he's desperate
smart.
and that's why he tests himself?
Upper due scientist man comes up and I want results.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not ready to give them yet. It's like we're gonna cut
You
the
don't
funding.
get this, you'll never work in science again, sir.
Your science card will be revoked.
Science is my life.
We're shutting you down.
Science is my life.
I don't know what is that? Is that just scientist man?
Yeah, that's scientist. That's desperate
is my
scientist
life.
number 3. It's,
Oh no!
Don't take my science away.
no, my science.
Blinded me with science.
Wham, 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 wham. You blinded me with science.
I'm a little fuzzy on all of the scenes in this film. I just know some of the biggies.
Yeah,
I was
him getting
gonna
in
say,
there
I
naked.
think he's doing this all on his own.
You think it's all like kind of?
I think-
might be.
You think it's like when
It's
he's like
in-
the kid style, where he's like just an independent inventor?
I want to believe that
want to
because
believe.
I feel like that is right. I think he has like his own little studio or space.
How good would Jeff Goldblum be in X-Files instead of David Duchovny? That'd be a good
That's-
fit.
Oh, that'd be creepy.
That's a big.
You never knew he
ask, Brad.
existed. In a world where you never knew David Duchovny existed in
If
that
I
role.
did not know David Duchovny existed, I would have bought
Keep going.
What?
Goldblum being Mulder.
Oh, okay.
I would have bought it. I could have done it. I think knowing that he exists, I wouldn't want that, but
In a world
Watch
where you
yourself.
didn't.
in a world where I did,
In the alternate universe.
it would have been acceptable.
Yeah, it would be great. That'd be lovely. I'd love to see Jeff Goldblum in a lot more stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like him in basically everything.
He's wonderful. What a kind man, it seems, you know?
He is.
He dates a little young, but, you know, what are you gonna do?
What?
He dates young.
He dates young?
He dates younger girls.
I was not aware of this.
I would have figured he'd be married.
I don't think you can tame the bloom.
I was saying, did you see
The
him with
bloom,
that shirt
it's
off?
always, he's always in
He's
bloom.
always blooming?
He's always in bloom.
baby.
He dates younger, eh?
Aye. He's got like a 20 or 30-year-old girlfriend. He's like 50 or 60 now.
Jeff! Jeff is dating younger. Wow.
You're locked in on this. Come on. How do we move past this part of the podcast?
Jeff.
Talking to your bestie Jeff.
I'm trying to get him on the podcast and try to talk him up. So, yeah, I think he has his own little studio where he's doing this experiment on the side.
On the
probably
fly?
completely there it is. I'm probably completely wrong, but I just want to go out there.
That's fine. All right.
And so
I think there's not a lot of people in this film. I'm only seeing
No,
them
there's not.
two and the lady he bangs.
the
and
lady
After he
is this like
becomes
a
part of the Fly, he like gets his testosterone levels like go through the roof, and he just starts banging ladies at clubs all the time. He's got like so much vigor.
Yeah, so let's get there.
It's a big
Yeah.
part of the movie.
Let's
to
get there
me.
because he does go into the machine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Finally decides that the time is
it's gotta
now
be
and he's
done.
going to do it.
As the Fly goes into the same side as he does, right? And he just doesn't notice it until it's too late.
I think the Fly goes in the opposite one that
That's what I
he's
wasn't
in.
sure about.
Maybe the opposite.
It goes in the opposite one, I'm pretty sure.
No,
and
there's
then,
no way. You're wrong. It's in the same one.
Whichever.
Is it?
I could see it happening either way and not it mattering at all.
No, maybe you're right. Okay. So, yeah. And then he teleports to the other side.
And that's why the machine's like, oh, all this DNA in the one side. Ooh, just slap it together. I don't care. Just Jurassic
It's
Park.
like an overlooked problem.
Yeah. It should be some sort of like vent or something that like gets everything out of there. What about like little bacteria and things? Why doesn't he become like a little
Ooh,
bacteria
yeah.
guy?
Become like a giant single cell organism on the other side.
Yeah. He's just one
The
big,
blob.
one big virus.
Yeah. And of course, the teleporter looks like a beehive for some reason, and he gets to strip naked,
Oh, of course.
and he kneels like Terminator style into it as he
Yeah, he
transports.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. And then he transports over.
So does he notice the Fly
No, he doesn't notice till after the fact when he starts to exhibit.
change? And then it's when he's looking at the
changes.
logs and he's like,
Probably.
Fly detected. And he's like, I should have programmed in if Fly is present, then stop.
Yeah.
Oh, I
I
didn't
Should have
think
done
of
it.
that.
Should have put that failsafe in there.
You know, hindsight, narrow that.
So I know that as soon as he changes into the teleporter, he goes to a bar.
Uh-huh.
And this is like
Yeah.
when his testosterone, like you were saying, is
Yeah,
like
he's
through the
he's
roof.
drinking like a horse. He's just having a great time.
I think he ends up challenging a guy to an arm wrestle,
And he's obviously a bigger guy.
Yeah.
yeah.
and he sits down with this guy, and he literally breaks the guy's arm off. Jeff Goldblum
The whole arm
literally
comes off.
his bone right in the middle of his limb
Yeah.
just snaps in half, and it's so great too because Jeff Goldblum just stands up and he's holding his hands up like I didn't do it, and he just like leaves the
You
bar.
obviously did it.
Everyone just saw you do it.
He immediately leaves the bar.
Oh my gosh. So the transformation begins.
Yeah, he starts
Yeah.
to turn into slimy thing.
Like
he's
skin-
like
Well,
starts to
I think
skin
like it
is
happens like
oozing.
mid-coitus, where he's like banging a lady, and then like the girl like goes behind his back and like feels like a
Doesn't she? I thought she
spines
scratched
or something
I thought
coming
she
up.
scratched his back
Maybe
while they were doing
scratched
it,
her
and that
back.
it, like just went straight through his skin.
And at this point, Gina Davis and him were like connecting, but because of him turning into kind of like this Don Juan
Yeah.
jackass guy, they start to get a little more distance between them. But he's like kind of aggressive towards her too, I think.
Yeah,
I forget if they bang or
ca-
not, but
they do. I'm pretty sure.
pre or post fly.
Ooh, probably pre-fly.
I think post fly, and
I
it's
think
weird.
pre-fly.
Okay.
So
I'm saying they bang post fly, and it weirds her out, and then she like gets distance between them. Because he almost
Yeah.
like puts her to the side. He's like shoe fly.
don't bother me.
Don't bother me.
Yo, 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 yo.
It had to happen. Your fly's down, Andy. Move on.
Cronenberg said it first.
That was like a Mitch Hedberg joke.
So
okay,
he gets
well-
scoops.
Yeah, he eventually just turns into a monster fly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's cut to the chase. He slowly transforms into a fly.
It's
All it
pretty
is
intense.
just like sequences of him changing.
But it's
Yes.
also like not quite a fly. It's just like a horrible monster beast that has like fly characteristics.
yeah.
He's not like a big puppety fly.
Right, he's
No,
like
yeah.
oozing this slime, and I think he is starting to grow like sort of wings, like fly wing. They like stick out of his back, but nothing's really like working quite right because it can't figure out what it wants to do
Yeah.
or what his body wants to have happen.
Uh-huh.
And so I do know that eventually Gina Davis comes back around to take care of him.
They're trying to figure out how to reverse it too during all this.
Yes.
And they need the actual fly, or at least that's how it is in the original version. The whole time in the original,
Right,
they're
you're telling
looking
me
for
you
the
saw
fly.
the original version?
It was in black and white on like YouTube for free or something one time.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was like a promotion thing.
It's like the only place to watch it.
Yeah. It ends real creepy. It has
Does it really?
Yeah, it has the it's an iconic line, just like "Please don't kill me" or something like that.
I wouldn't hurt a fly.
Kill me, kill me,
Oh yeah.
kill me. It's just like a little guy on a fly body, and it's creepy as
Did they
fuck.
kill it?
Oh my
Did they
god,
kill
I'm
him?
gonna have to go watch that.
The scientist guy just wears like a fly head the whole time, and like he's like trying to like dictate how to like turn it back, and they just had to find the other fly, and it's just not working. And
Yeah. It's a plot hole that they're like, we have no resolution, let's just make it up.
well, they end up, he just ends up dying. Like he can't live as a fly.
Yeah.
You know,
So in
he
this,
ends up crushing himself because of how hideous he is.
Well, I have bad news for this movie as well.
I was gonna say what
Jeff
happens at the end.
Goldblum's character,
Is it Jeff Goldblum
he just dies.
smushes himself in a big fly
No,
swatter?
I think he just ends up like he continues to transform into a fly, and his body ceases to really work the way that it should, and he is a goner.
DED dead.
Yeah.
There's sequels. There's Son of Fly, I think.
Yeah.
There's like a TV show even. Like
So maybe he did.
somehow there was like a
Wait, Son of Fly? Are we talking about Son of Mask?
there was like
The Jamie Kennedy?
a fly phenomenon that happened from this movie. That's a force. I forced it in there. I forced it in
Probably
there.
the best one yet.
I'm the only one trying on this podcast anymore. You guys
Come
have
on,
given up.
You said flying nomina. And you're
Yeah,
trying?
starring John Travolta.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. He has all the powers of a fly.
And none of the powers of a human?
He has a brain tumor that turns him into a fly in that movie.
Can we think of other movies that would be better if the main character turned into a fly?
There's something about Mary.
She's turning into a fly.
Yeah. There's something about this Mary girl. Well, I can't place my finger on it.
She has fly wings out of her back.
We're only 15 minutes into the podcast. We gotta extend it somehow. What else does anybody remember from this movie?
Nothing. This is gonna be a long part 2. I feel like we're gonna have to make this a long part 2.
Oh, wow.
Let me go in the think tank. Dip it back. I know he has a sweet apartment loft thing where he's banging all those ladies.
Maybe I'm getting that mixed up with the science space that he has.
Yeah.
Maybe he does.
He's
work
got to
for
have
a
like
company.
generic mean business guy forcing him to do work. Oh my gosh, this movie's like an hour and a half. I don't remember anything in this thing. Saw it as a kid and I was edited
I
on
do like
television.
the idea that he has to like get this project figured out, or else like maybe the whole thing is going to be scrapped, and so that kind of forces his hand to.
Yeah, that's why he
He goes into the thing himself.
Are there a bunch of army or military that come at the end of the film, or is that in one of the sequels? Because there's a part where they're hunting it, and it's like in the vents, but it could be a sequel.
I don't
That's-
think that's this one.
Yeah, this one's just about him turning
This is
into
all the
a fly.
transformation.
Okay. There was a fly marathon on Sci-Fi Channel.
I'm just
or something. I'm like getting confused with.
A fly marathon.
There was a fly. There was a lot of these movies. People don't realize how many sequels the
No.
Fly had.
I didn't.
It had 7.
It might have had 7. It had for sure 2. I'm gonna guess 5.
Well, there's for sure 3.
Well, then I'm wrong.
I mean, I know there's 3. There might be more.
3 sequels or 3 fly?
3
movies?
total.
3
Totals.
fly movies total.
In the original,
The
that's the fourth
original,
one.
the remake.
Oh,
Oh,
And the
well,
second
now I'm
one.
thinking
Okay.
there's at least 3 now.
Brad said
Yeah.
there were 2 sequels.
I said there was 2 sequels to this. I think there's a Son of Fly, and then there's a Fly 2 and a Son of Fly.
And
And the Bride
Fly
of
of-
Fly.
There might be a Bride of Fly.
oh my god.
Like a lady fly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Gina Davis. Let's try to figure out what she's doing in this film, other than just being like
Getting
the generic
horrified?
lady girl. Yeah.
I assume
Is-
she finds
is
him
she
mid
still-
transformation.
Horrified. Go on.
Is Gina Davis still rocking the mop top
Yes,
haircut?
curly hair.
The
Got it.
curly
She has
It's
mop.
not the
to.
long Beetlejuicy curly, but it's
Yeah.
Earth Girls are easy curly.
I don't know that kind of curly, but I'll go back and check the tape.
By watching this movie,
Let's go to the tape. Yeah, I mean, I assume like she like walks into his lab looking for him and like finds him when he's like in this half transformed like super gross state. She's like, ah!
I think
He's trying to hide it. He's like
Yes.
got one bad fly arm like underneath his coat. It's a little too long or something.
Yeah.
she's gonna have more of a role. She has to either work for the company as well.
She definitely
the
helps him
project?
try to like turn back the hands of time and cure
She
himself.
does. Mm-hmm. Or maybe she's a journalist, like doing a story about the.
Nah.
We learned that
No?
anytime we
Okay.
think it's a journalist, it's actually an undercover FBI
Yep,
agent.
that's
Okay.
true.
Smooching
She's an
little kids. She's
undercover
true.
FBI journalist. No, that plot. This. I don't know what she does.
I don't know. Only thing I can think of is to talk about like David Cronenberg films, but I feel like that's
That's a part 2.
it's getting off topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no. Oh my god, this is.
It's a hard movie.
Look, every time we have a short,
We got 3 ninja on
a
this one,
short
guys.
part, yeah, we did get 3 ninja on this one. That means I'm really excited for part 2. 'Cause 3 ninjas part 2 is hilarious.
we got what?
We got 3 ninja,
Oh,
where like we went in like, yeah, all
I
right.
thought you guys were saying something else.
What did you think we were saying?
What do you think we were saying?
I thought you said we got 3 ninja done, and I was like, what does that mean?
Andy, where were you? We
Where-
finished 3 ninja already.
What's happening? What's going on?
And just like whipped back a couple months, like, oh my god, what happened? It was all a dream.
So 3 ninja.
You flash back like Butterfly Effect.
Ooh.
No, I'm saying I just.
You guys see that movie, Butterfly Effect?
I
it's
have.
kind of like a
Yep,
fly in
I've
that
seen it.
movie. It's
I
a butterfly.
Oh, what?
It's like the same.
That movie's hard to watch.
Yeah.
Doesn't he like tells someone to shut up and then like
I don't
someone
know.
else's whole family gets abused by some pedophile and I'm like, oh my god.
Well, join us in part 2. We're gonna figure out if that happens, and we're gonna see what we remembered about the fly.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't think I've ever given me a chance to be me. But, of course, interestingly, at the exact same moment that I achieved what will probably prove to be my life's work, that's the moment when I started being the real me finally. So, listen, not to wax messianic, but it may be true that the synchronicity of those two events might blur the resultant individual effect of either individually. But it is nevertheless also certainly true, I will say now, however subjectively, that human teleportation, molecular decimation, breakdown, and reformation is inherently purging. It makes a man a king. From the moment I walked out of the pod, I felt like $1 million. You know, I think I am going to have cannoli after all. Waiter!
The quickening.
Do you have a little thingy for me to say?
Okay. So you need a little thingy, or
Maybe.
I was gonna do the Jeff Goldblum Acrobatus podcast, but you can do whatever you like because that scene was
Oh,
incredible.
Jeff Goldblum
Yeah.
as a gymnast, yeah.
You intro it.
No, you did it.
What? Okay. What was it again? The Jeff Goldblum.
It's up to you now.
Gymnast. Oh, he should be like Jeff Goldblum, abs of steel.
Yeah, he worked out a lot for this movie.
He did.
I got nothing.
What else could we say? What
So
was
much pressure.
What was his last name in the thing? What they kept calling
Brundle.
him? Brundle. Yeah, Brundle
Yeah.
Fly.
Welcome back to the Be Very podcast. Be Very a podcast. We watched The Fly.
I'm trying to understand that one.
That's too much.
That's the
too much.
main quote of the film.
You don't want to go there. You don't want to go there.
very
Don't
afraid.
think about it. Don't even
I
think
wrote
about
Be
it.
afraid, be very afraid.
Yeah, I read the trivia and apparently that phrase is from this movie.
Yeah.
But I feel like that phrase has been around forever.
Yeah, it feels very iconic and like
nope.
it feels like it's
when
be some
when
sort
Gina
of
when Gina Davis said that, I was like, oh, they're like mocking some old catchphrase.
No, they're
And it's-
starting it.
Wow.
book. Yeah.
They kicked it off.
What?
This movie starts real fast.
Oh my gosh.
So I was gonna say the reason why we didn't quite get this movie down is we thought this was like a 2-hour movie and it's only like 90 minutes.
There's like 4 sets in the whole thing.
They move real quick.
This movie's like
Three
this happens, that happens, the movie's
characters.
over.
Like this movie starts immediately with Gina Davis meeting Jeff Goldblum, and she's like, "Hi, I'm a science journalist." He goes, "Oh, I'm a scientist. Let me take you to my lab." And then they go to his lab, and that's like
I kind
just
of
moves.
loved that.
Yeah,
it
just-
goes.
I loved that.
It cut out the first 20 minutes of the movie for us.
yeah.
This is what I wish movies nowadays did. Just get to this part of the film.
Right. It was like, all right, I got this scientist. He's doing all these experiments, and then this happens and that happens, and they're like, no,
No, open on the meat cue. Move on.
Yep.
we don't need that.
We don't need to see him working on this prior to trying to impress a lady.
Nope.
No, can you guys tell me how long he was on this project for?
Months?
I would assume
6
years
months.
or
Oh
something,
no,
but-
I think he said like 10 years or something like
was
that.
he?
I mean, the stuff he built was impressive. So I'm not gonna.
Yeah, he fills a lot of
dispute
the plot holes with like his funding and stuff real quick and how
He
like
does.
why he's so undercover and
But then that brings up so many questions. I mean, weren't you guys like Why would someone fund this and
Some
not
mysterious
ask any
project?
questions for like years?
He says because it's so cheap. He's a cheap person to fund.
He only has like 5 sets of clothes, and they're all the same.
And once his stuff ends up working, they're gonna make a lot of money
they're
with
gonna
it.
make absurd amounts of money.
So
Who's
why would they
paying
care?
for that loft?
There's like 3 people that he mentions that like are funding him. And that loft's in a shit neighborhood.
It's
You're
true.
not telling me
That's
that
true.
loft's
That's true.
expensive.
Yeah.
That is true.
like-
It is in a shit
That's a
neighborhood.
1986 shit loft apartment.
There was a
Shit
lot of
loft
them.
realties.
They couldn't give that shit away.
At first, I was like, "Oh, this is a nice place." And as the movie dragged on, I was like, "This movie's a shithole."
Yeah, and
I
then
don't want to live in
he
this place.
treats it like a shithole too.
And he's got expensive stuff all over the place. He's
Yeah.
just leaving it out.
Yeah.
Vagrants everywhere. I don't get it.
Flies rolling in this town.
If Gina Davis went up to that apartment, the first thing should have been like, "Nope, I'm out.
Too dirty.
Too dirty." But instead, she's all in for it. 20 minutes in, they are knocking boots.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't waste time with that.
She instigates it too. She's like, "I want this to happen."
She's all about him like very fast. I think 20 minutes in, she's like, "What do you say we go to Florida together?"
Go on a vacation, just the two
like,
of us.
bro, we just went on like one date, and it wasn't even a date.
I know.
Pretend to be an old
Slow it
married
down.
couple.
His idea of romance is calling in for Chinese food.
I would go for that. Jeff Goldblum, Jeff Goldblum, me and Chinese food.
Oh, man.
Sign me up.
I would do that in a heartbeat.
Sign me up.
You and Gina Davis are on the same page.
Yes, I understand her in this movie. I really see myself in her character.
You would settle for that crummy loft apartment with Oh, geez.
Look, lofts are all the rage now. Okay, I bet their property values are going to
Yeah,
skyrocket in like 10 years.
if he still
Yeah.
holds that apartment in any way, I don't know.
Listen, if you can get through an 80s loft, 90s and 2000 loft is good.
yeah,
I
he's
mean-
got to get there.
I mean, as we learned from Three Men and a Little Baby,
Oh my god.
like 2 years was a good loft away.
That's true.
If you just would have waited 2 more years.
Oh man. So should we go through the beats of the movie?
Yeah, because we didn't
Because
really get
we were
this.
muddled on the first half.
She sleeps with him on a pull-out mattress. Okay, move on. That bugged me.
It bugged you.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna happen. I'm gonna slip him in there.
Well, the second time they boned for the entire day, apparently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gina Davis has gotta be in pain.
She's up and down like, oh my god.
That fly
I
wiener.
hurt everywhere.
She's like, shouldn't we, like, eat or something? Like, we've been having sex since the morning. It is now 7 p.m. and
I am bored.
I haven't done anything else.
She
And
was
he's like, no, more.
she was a journalist
She was, for the first time ever.
in a
Yeah.
movie. We called it.
We even denied the fact that she was a journalist because it was too obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And her publisher is sort of the villain.
Sort of. You
Yeah.
have a feeling for him at the end.
But he was like a weird cross between the principal from Ferris Bueller and the booby guy from Die Hard. Like,
Oh, he was the
Okay.
booby guy.
Oh, was he?
No, I mean,
okay.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
it
in
was
that he's
weird.
the
Like I
same.
saw him and I was like, "Oh my god, it's the '80s guy."
Yeah,
He's Booby's brother.
yeah.
The Booby bro.
he's the other
I can
booby.
see that. Yeah. Oh god.
There's the left booby and the right booby.
They went different ways with their 80s careers. But I was a little confused by that because they set him up. He works at Gina Davis's newspaper place.
Yeah.
They work at the same place. But then later he's taking a shower at her house and she's like pissed at him.
He used to go out.
Yeah, they used to.
He
Yeah,
still has
they
the key
used
to her
to be.
apartment.
Like the first
Yeah.
time that we meet him, we don't really get
just a
any
boss.
dynamic. Yeah.
Right.
So
and that's all
I was
the-
like, is this the same guy? Oh, it is the same guy. I got confused.
It didn't need to be the same guy. It could have been a different actor, but this movie has like 3 people in it, so we're cutting costs
Yeah.
any way we
This-
can.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
There might have been like a boyfriend character. I'm like, oh, let's just make it this guy. And it's
Yeah,
like,
why not
that's
roll
fine.
it up into one?
Whatever.
Guy. It doesn't matter. One less person.
Yeah, that's why this movie's so great. It's like long scenes.
Was it 4 sets?
Couple
4
sets.
actors.
Yeah, cut to
That's
the
all you
point.
need.
Yeah.
Get to the point.
Call it a day.
Get a couple monkeys in there, fry them up.
Listen, okay, if we me go back a little bit. This company is funding this teleporter thing, and they're not checking anything. He killed a baboon.
That's what baboons are for.
No, he could have done a bird.
Is that wrong?
Could have grabbed a pigeon from outside.
like-
I mean,
I
he
thought he
could
knew-
have
he
even went
should've
to a
used-
shelter that was about to euthanize something and
You
been
should
like,
have used
"Can
like a
I
lab rat,
euthanize
or
it?"
like lab rats make sense because he's a scientist. Instead, they were just like, no, let's straight up make it a monkey so that it makes a big mess.
Well, he doesn't
Where
even
did he get a monkey from?
I don't know. He had 2 of them.
Yeah.
He got 2 monkeys.
Science Subject magazine.
He had
you're
2
like,
baboons.
Flip into the catalog. Ooh, 2 baboons.
What happened to the other baboon? We never heard from that thing ever
It
again.
just hugs them, and then it just stays in a cage for the rest of the movie, I'm
I
assuming.
guess.
Well, there's a deleted scene. We could talk about that.
Yeah,
where
we
they,
should
that's true.
Okay,
later.
that's where the other baboon goes.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Oh, that is the
Oh,
other
yeah,
baboon.
Uh-huh. So he doesn't even experiment on meat or like he does inanimate
does.
objects. No, later after
Yeah.
he does the baboon.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah,
there's-
he probably could have checked on the meat first.
Yeah, he really should have.
So there's a whole. Let's talk about the science of the fly. Let's get into that. So he can only transport inanimate objects. He starts by transporting her lacy under thing,
Yes.
Yep. Her
which is also
little
my
stocking.
name on a lot of sites. If you want to look
Yep,
up lacy, under
thing.
thing.
Oh, hey, I know that guy.
I post a lot of good content. And that works out. And then they try the baboon, which turns inside out, upside down.
Yep.
Turns into like a fried, something
Yeah.
you get at the...
That is somehow sort of still alive.
Yeah, it's like
It's moving a little
it's
bit.
boiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the gremlin in the microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, it is.
And
He had to clean that teleporter out after that, too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he had to get up
boy.
all up in those
yeah.
guts.
Oh, boy. It's horrific. He should have put some paper down before he
Yeah, right.
teleported
Throw a
that
tarp
baboon.
in there, you know?
Yeah, he wasn't. Sometimes he just was not thinking. I don't think he was thinking this stuff through.
He's just science man. He's just, going
Well,
for
and
it.
it makes sense, like, after the halfway point of this movie, it makes sense anytime he does something weird or dumb, because, like, he's losing
His mind.
his mind. But,
That's true.
like, in the beginning, he is, like,
He makes some
real excited
dumb-
about some things. I mean, it was just
Yeah.
Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum. Like, I could see if Jeff Goldblum had become a scientist, this is exactly, he would have
How
been
do you know
doing
he
the same
isn't?
stuff.
He could still be a scientist.
That's a good point. This
He
could
plays a lot of
I
scientists in
did
movies.
mention that this could have just been a Jeff Goldblum biopic. I think it was just him being himself and like, yeah, this is this is how I live my life.
It
Yeah,
could have
his
been.
character does dramatically change, though.
Yeah, in a bad way. You hate him at the end of the
Horrible
movie.
way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he is
gets
a monster,
Crazy. Oh
and he starts to change like fast. As soon as those little hairs poke through,
yeah.
Yeah.
he's like his attitude is like completely shifted. He's like manic the entire time.
Becomes kind of like a big old jerk to everybody.
Yeah, he's like moving fast. He's like twitching a lot.
He's a fly. He's a fly man.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that what happened?
Yeah, he's transforming into a fly in this movie.
What did I?
So
Fly
that
man
the
man.
fly at the end of the movie is also him at the beginning of the movie.
No, that doesn't make sense. Hold on.
I do later on want to talk to you guys about the original The Fly.
Oh, okay.
So he realizes the mistake is what now? That it's like making a replicate?
It's making its like best
Guess of what a
interpretation
thing
of what a
is?
thing is. Yeah.
So how does he fix that?
I don't like. All of a sudden
They
he's
don't
like,
know
I
that-
know how to do it. Beep,
Yeah.
boop, beep, boop, beep, boop,
Okay.
Done.
I thought I might have missed something.
Yeah.
No, they
No,
don't
yeah,
explain
they don't
it. He
explain
talks
that.
through a problem and then he comes to a solution in his head and he just presses some buttons and then it's like the next scene he's like,
Yeah.
success, I did it.
So we've got
Teleporter done.
underwear, baboon, steak, and then him are the things that get teleported, and then him at the end. Are there 5 teleportations?
I have to say this. He wasted a whole baboon in this teleporter and then he when he got to the steak he was like, maybe I should only use half of it because I probably want to eat the other half. I want to eat the other half of this
Such a
steak.
good point. Well, and then later, once he feels like he is ready, he's like, "All right, I do have another baboon. I'll just use myself. Why not?"
Yeah, he's like, I'm drunk. Well, whatever. I don't need to test it.
he got drunk and angry
He
enough.
like
He's
hugged the other
"What
baboon
else?"
and was like, "I'll never do that to you like I did to your brother." Maybe that was. Oh, is that like that's how Dunstan starts?
So the baboon does get transferred again. I forgot that. A different baboon goes through, and that's when they're waiting like 2 weeks or
that's
some weeks for
true.
the test results. And Gina Davis does that thing where they should go to Florida and they start building a connection.
Yeah, it's like lickety split.
yeah.
lickety
This movie,
Yeah.
like I said, this goes.
But then she gets a letter in the mail from sleazy newspaper guy.
Yeah,
of
the
him on
editor.
the cover of a magazine, which is probably like the best drawing of Jeff Goldblum that's ever
It's
existed.
amazing, and he's like in front of space.
It's like an 80s like Styx album cover or something.
Yeah, and he's like leaned to the side and his like hands on his chin, and I was like, that's amazing. I want that in
Everybody
my
wants
bedroom.
that. That's like gonna be the new thing that
I need
people
that
want.
as a poster, like on my wall.
Yeah, blow it up and print it out.
Yeah.
Someone's got to have that somewhere. I want to put that up at my desk at work.
Oh man. So yeah, the idea is that her editor and her used to go out, and then when she starts seeing Jeff Goldblum, he gets like super jealous real
stalks
quick.
her up.
And yeah, it stalks her,
Goes to Stalk
harasses
City.
her.
Are you the stalking is from the ex though?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
but Jeff Goldblum does get very, very upset very quickly.
yeah, but the editor had one of my favorite line of the movie, which was a hilarious cock joke.
Oh, please go! I can't
She's
wait
like-
because he had some crazy lines.
Yeah, I didn't understand some of
where
them.
she's like trying to explain the story to him, like after she understands everything, and he's just mad that she slept with him, because he like waited outside his like the loft all night and noticed that she stayed over, and she goes, "You don't understand. I'm onto something big here. It could be huge." And he goes, "What? His cock?" And I was
Yeah.
like, "Good one.
Oh my
that was a
God.
good one."
How do you respond to that?
Be like, oh boy.
You're like, ooh, you see, she set him right up for that. Like, come on. You had to see it coming, Gina.
Don't you get it? I am finally onto something that's big, huge,
Yeah? What? His cock?
crude status. Very crude.
Wasn't there
Had to
was
see it coming. I get it. Go ahead.
Oh.
I want to talk about one of his later lines
Yes.
where he says something along the lines of when he's when he's gone, do I get to claim your body? And I was like, oh, is she dying too? And then I thought for a second, I was like, wait, what?
Is that necrophilia or is that
he just
like,
wants to claim her body for sex? I was like, who says that like that?
I don't know if it was implied. I don't. There's definitely you could take it that way, but I don't know if it was just like he thinks she's gonna die. It's like when you're there to die, like I'm gonna be there to claim your body,
Like, identify the body.
identify
maybe, yeah.
the body. That's how I could have
That
also
makes sense.
taken it.
But at the same time, this dude
But
is
it also could have been
crazy.
the necrophilia take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Well, she wasn't gonna die. Like she wasn't technically dying.
Well,
right?
she wasn't
She was
sure,
hanging out
though.
with the fly man. It could have
Oh,
been.
he thought
could
that
have been trouble.
the fly was gonna murder.
Well,
her.
they
don't
thought
know.
he might be contagious at one point.
Yeah, that was true too. He thought he had disease
So why would he be claiming her body? What for?
because she's dead.
And when
she-
someone
he has to-
dies, they
yeah.
need someone to identify it and like confirm that it is who they think it is.
That's called
and-
claiming the body.
That's not really.
Oh, is that like
it's not
something
really
you
a
really
thing
want
What are
to
you doing,
do?
with, what are you doing with your fingers here? What's happening?
I'm trying to think of something.
You're like pushing your
Yeah,
fingers
you're really-
to
you're
the
like
right, then
bleep-blooping
left,
over
and then
here.
you're moving around.
It's not really a thing that happens anymore, but
Yeah,
it's
you have
like
to-
it's
you
like a
have to
movie
claim
trope all the
bodies
time where
before.
like someone has to identify the body and like
he seemed
send
like
it to a funeral
weirdly
home
excited
and-
about wanting to do that.
There's some odd
Yeah.
delivery lines.
Yeah.
Delivered lines in this film.
He's a strange guy.
Yeah. So is David
yes.
Cronenberg.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. Very weird. He's very obsessed with the flesh for
Oh,
some
yeah.
reason. There's
Diseases
like
and
probably
flesh.
like 5 movies where it's just all about the word the flesh.
He's all about body parts and disgusting acts and
The blobs.
the bloobs and the blobs. Even in his most tame movies, his
everybody.
more recent ones, he still has like scenes of like graphic violence of somebody's like neck exploding or whatever, like
Yeah.
Eastern Promises or History of Violence. It's like, oh, this movie is pretty tame. Oh my God, someone's leg just blew in half. Why did that happen?
He doesn't do a lot of like the exploding head stuff anymore. Or like those
Did he do
like creepy
Scanners?
sci-fi. He did do Scanners,
Okay,
yeah.
it's a head exploding movie.
I would love to see like Cronenberg's version of RoboCop where Murphy gets shot for an hour.
he was gonna do Total Recall.
Ooh, that would have been really good.
Yeah, he turned it down. Or they turned him down, one or the other.
Yeah, one or the other.
So after he teleports himself and then gets like very excited about it, he basically tells Gina Davis that she has to go in the teleporter herself.
To experience it. That's after a while. He eats all the sugar first and like
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
goes
that was
insane.
good. So that's like as he starts like one of the first things he does when he starts to change is like they're having coffee and he just keeps putting more and more sugar into his and she's like eyeballing it like you're weird.
He's
Yeah.
like she's like short with the waiter.
Oh
and
yeah.
he's changing.
Suddenly he's being
Right.
kind of a jerk and
Something-
she's like you have not
something's
been
off
that
here.
mean
Something's very
before.
off.
This is not right. But he keeps insisting that like doing the teleportation like purified his body because he was reassembled like in the purest form. And that's why like when he starts
That's
doing
when he does the
gymnastics
gymnastics.
all
Yeah.
over his apartment.
He has
Yeah.
an intense night of banging and then he goes and does gymnastics all over his apartment.
Yep.
And that Jeff Goldblum body.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like,
He's working out for this
yeah.
movie. He knew he
It's
had to be
good.
topless.
He put in the effort.
yeah.
He knew that he was going to be shirtless for half of this movie.
and he was dating Gina Davis at the time too, so it's
That's
like
true.
dressed to impress. Make sure
And Gina
things are
Davis
looking
looked
good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
She
Oh,
looked
yeah,
like
yeah.
she just stepped off of Beetlejuice.
Well, actually, she
before.
did Beetlejuice after.
yeah.
Earth Girls Were Easy was 2 years away. She was looking great in that too.
Yeah. Tim Burton did something weird with her hair. Because her hair's working in this movie.
You're like the giant hair Gina Davis. You don't like the
not-
long hair Gina Davis
The,
or the
the
short hair Gina
Muppet
Davis?
version.
You don't like the Muppet version
No.
of Gina Davis?
She's looking more normal in this one.
I can't argue the fact. What do you want? What do you want from me right now?
To keep going. Moving on.
So yeah,
There's only 3 people in this movie to talk about.
That's true.
so he's doing those gymnastics all over to demonstrate how he's just the perfect person now, and really it's just because he's getting super fly.
Yeah, and then he's
becoming super
tries
fly.
to force her into the teleporter, and she doesn't want to do that. And then he's all like,
He gets all pissed off.
Fuck you, fuck.
I'm gonna go take another lady from
getting
a bar.
out of here. Yeah, and just heads
Right.
to the bar.
It's the one scene you remembered happened where he breaks that
Arm
guy's
wrestling.
arm off.
I think that's
the only scene I
That's like the
remembered.
janitor guy from Friends, I think, too. That place the guy who gets
Oh
his
boy.
arm broke
No.
No way, because that guy was. Wait, from what?
from Friends.
Friends was like a
He's like
90s thing, right?
He's
I thought
like
you-
the
yeah.
the maintenance guy in their
Okay.
building.
From Cheers, you thought it was.
I thought it was the guy from Cheers.
Yeah, you did. The guy that's in all the Pixar films.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So he ends up betting him $100 that he could beat both of them in arm wrestling.
Yeah.
One of them, either one.
Yeah. And then if he wins, he gets to take the girl home. But then she's like, "I'm not a hooker." And the one guy's just like, "It's $100. Come on."
Yeah, that was
enough.
That was interesting.
And she ends up going. She ends up going with him.
Because
Yeah.
he breaks that dude's arm, and she was like, "Yeah, all right, bet's a bet."
There it is.
Then they went to.
They went to his loft.
I know they tried to fill a plot hole here because they went to his loft during the daytime, which was confusing because it was nighttime before.
They said they wanted to go to a few bars first. That lady says, like,
they must have been at the bars until the sun rose.
Yeah, I wonder how many arms you broke that night.
I don't know.
must have been shot like after the fact. Like, oh, we already shot the scene during the day. How are we gonna cover this up?
Yeah,
Right.
She can't get up the stairs. He lifts her up and just carries her magnificently, like a superfly.
Oh yes,
And they go up and they bang a Rooney.
all day until Gina
And then-
Davis shows up.
Well, but before that, he's like forcing her into the teleporter as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's all about
He
teleporting.
wants
He's
another
like,
buddy.
This is really weird. He's like forcing women into. That's like a serial killer action.
Yeah, it really is.
This is where you lose Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah.
Wanna
in the
come see
movie.
my teleporter.
And I
No.
they were doing that on purpose. They were basically just trying to make you hate his character. I
Yeah,
think,
well,
over
yeah,
time.
his part of his transformation is from like protagonist to antagonist, essentially. Just sort of like the editor kind of does the reverse.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Gina Davis ends up coming at the last second, does the "Be Very Afraid" line. That's iconic in the film.
Right.
Yep.
Then she just buggers out of there, never to be seen in the movie again.
Yeah.
And
Oh, you mean the bar skank?
yeah.
Okay.
Wow, she's got a name, Andy.
Whoa, she's not a hooker, Andy.
I didn't say hooker. I said skank. There's a difference. There's a difference. Oh, coach. I should have said barfly.
Oh, too
missed
late.
opportunity.
Nope, not changing
Edit it, edit
no,
it.
No, 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 no.
God.
So
what am I
then
doing?
He starts to physically change after that.
Very fast.
part,
Oh
right?
yeah,
Very
yeah. Then
quickly.
that's where he starts to really deteriorate.
Jeff Goldblum rolled over on bed on a microchip and like scratched his back up for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then he started to grow little fly hairs out of there. Gina Davis cuts them, gets them, sends them to the lab.
That
And then
that does
now
happen.
Gina Davis confronts him in this scene, be like, "Hey, you know those
like,
flies aren't human. Those hairs aren't human. They belong to a fly. They're fly hairs.
Them's a fly.
There's a fly. Buzz, buzz, buzz. It's a fly hair."
Hey, I'm a fly.
I don't remember this delivery, but I'm
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
liking.
You gonna turn into a fly soon, sucker.
Oh, is the tappy tree back?
Well, Tabby Drew comes in different forms.
Hey, y'all turning into a fly.
Which he doesn't believe, or
Yeah,
what, is he, what happens?
well, he just screams at her, and
It's like,
she
don't be
ends
ridiculous.
up like
You're just
running
jealous
out of
of
there.
me for being perfect.
He's like eating that like nougat bar, like in such a weird way. He's like, and as she's
Does he
like,
spit the goo on it at that point?
I think he does.
Oh boy, there's some goo in this
yeah,
movie
there
too.
is. It's Cronenberg.
Yeah, and then he's like, she's like, oh, I went and had those tested at a lab, and he's like, that's a very strange thing to do. I don't know why you would do that. He's just like eating this nougat bar in a very weird way.
Yeah.
And then from there,
She leaves,
she leaves.
and then he begins to
He's
fall
like
apart.
seriously transforming.
Yep. Like the next day he wakes up and his face is like scratched sort of and like kind of
He turns into like a
looking weird.
geriatric almost.
Well, he goes.
Yeah, he's, like, hunched
he
over.
looks into the mirror and he starts pulling his like fingernails
fingernail.
off.
Oh, that scene always is like, ugh.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
always the gross scene.
I
Oh,
was
man.
eating a slice of pizza and I was like,
Oh, you
I
dummy.
was feeling bad. I was
Never
feeling
eat,
so
never
nauseous.
eat during your Cronenberg.
That's your fault.
Especially in 80s Cronenberg.
Yeah. Don't blame the fly for that one.
Oh, I was blaming myself. I should have known better. I've seen these movies before. So after, I mean, once he finally, like, he pulls off his fingernails and he sobers up very quickly. Mm-hmm. And he, like, realizes that something is very wrong. Now he's, like, actually doing the testing to see what's happening.
Yeah, he's trying to go back to
So
the
he goes
log.
back to like
that
the logs
computer.
of his teleport.
Tell me what's going on with that
It
computer,
has
Andy.
80s computer power.
Yeah.
Where you can just put anything you want into it and you get back a clear, concise answer.
Yes, and this is why it was like zooming in on like him, like a microscopic cell thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah,
and
it
then
zoomed in on
zooms
DNA.
and then it zooms back out, and suddenly it's a fly, and he's like,
It puts the
yes."
pieces together.
And his computer's like, it was a fly.
Yeah.
And he's like, my computer, it got confused when there was two of us, so it merged us. And I was like, your computer was smart enough that you could go into the logs and be like, oh, my computer tells me there was also a fly in there, but it was like, I'm not going to send these as two separate things.
Yeah.
Like, this
He
is...
doesn't check his logs.
Who
Makes a huge
programmed this
mistake.
machine? Because
He
it
did.
did not go well.
Because it only has to respond to his voice. Once he
Yes.
starts to lose his voice, the machine doesn't recognize him anymore.
Right.
Yeah. Because this was a problem that he didn't prepare for.
Yeah.
You know, what if two things are in the teleporter at the same time?
I did enjoy that, like, his kind of, like, scientific interest, when he's like, oh, my teleporter is also a gene splicer. Like, ooh, new scientific
Oh,
discovery.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just a whole new field that could be applied to his machine.
I can see that, like a scientist looking for one thing and then finding another thing, you know?
Oh, that
It
happens
could
all the
happen.
time.
Yeah.
And you'd got to think that he would have thought on a mass transport scale anyway, for him not to even consider that two people were going to be in a pod at the same time.
Yeah.
That just seems
Well,
negligent.
I assume
This
that's
is
like
a Model A.
Yeah, this is like where he's like,
Model
oh,
A.
get this down, and then we'll figure out the kinks, like, later.
And that's also a big part of the story is that Gina Davis wants to reveal all this stuff in an article that she's writing. Like, that's her motivation.
Right.
And he's like, wait, don't do that. Like, we can come out with a book. Like, we can shoot video and everything. So he's like,
It could
give
be
it
a whole
more
thing.
time. Yeah, that originally gets her
And that's like her
invested.
publisher keeps threatening her with releasing the story early. Like, he's like, it's my story now, not
Yeah, the-
yours.
the
I sent you out there
boyfriend.
to
He's
meet
just
that guy."
jelly.
Yeah.
He's very jelly.
He's toad's jelly.
But then he starts like he's the only person she can turn to.
yeah, well,
In the story.
I think she's the only person he knows in the world that exists.
That sounds right.
He doesn't seem to have like family or friends or a next door neighbor even.
Nope.
No one has family or friends.
No.
No
There's
cranky
a
old
very
lady in the
small world.
basement.
There's just hookers and barflies.
Yeah, that's it.
And that bar was playing weird music.
I don't even remember what it was. Was it like not?
It's
I
not
didn't notice.
important, but it didn't fit.
Oh, okay. I'll have to go back and check it because I didn't notice.
It was like alternative 80s in like a kind of hillbilly.
So go ahead and settle me something. Gina Davis
Sure.
calls it a juke box. Is it jute or juke?
It's
It's
juke.
definitely juke.
Yeah.
Forever and always it has been juke?
Yeah, it is.
Juke.
Okay. She says it very distinct in this film at the beginning.
She was like enunciating.
It's part of the sweet loft stuff that he has, like a piano
He has a jukebox?
and a juke box.
He's a jute box.
He has a juke box. A juba box.
Curious about your guys' thoughts on Jeff Goldblum's fly acting.
His the fact his zipper was down the whole movie, or
XYZ, bitch.
it starts off as his old man fly, which is weird because
Yeah, he's got the two crutches.
yeah. And then he starts to become a little more nimble again. He starts walking on the
He's
ceiling
like,
and the walls.
dancing on the
I'm with
ceiling.
you on that one because he is kind of like hobbling around. And then all of a sudden she comes over and he's like, check out what I can do, and just like is leaping onto walls like no thing.
Well, I figured that was probably because he's going from upright to four.
right. but
4 limbs.
So I guess he was just coming to terms with that when he had the crutches. I was like,
Yeah.
he didn't seem to be able to move very well. Then all of a sudden
No.
he's like, check it out, leaps onto a wall.
yeah, but he
No
looked like he had a
problem.
hernia or something like that.
Yeah.
Then he becomes one of the sewer mutants from Futurama.
Yes, he
Very
does.
fast. Very fast.
And he like busts in and like steals Gina Davis
Yeah.
and gets out of there.
There's a whole scene where
God.
Gina Davis is pregnant.
Oh yeah, so this is something we didn't mention, I think, at all in part 1.
No.
We knew there was Sonafly,
Yes.
but we didn't know.
So
we just
she
didn't
finds
make
out
the
that
leap.
she's pregnant, and her question is, like, 1, whose is it?
No, she knows
No,
whose
she,
it is.
she did say
There's no who's
she's
he
like,
was.
it's Seth Brundles.
Yeah.
It's Brundleflies.
I love that his
Brundle
computer
flies.
keeps saying Brundle everything, too.
Brundlefly.
Then her question is, was it from before he mutated or after he mutated?
And it
Well,
didn't matter. She was
but-
going to get that thing out of there.
Her dream was that it was a giant maggot coming out
Yes.
of her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So that was a giving birth scene, not a having an abortion scene.
No, I think
Well, it was a
giving birth
dream,
scene.
so it was very confusing. At first,
Didn't
I
she
think when
wanna
she was
go
being
in-
wheeled in, she was like, "But why would I get rid of it?" And then he's like trying to talk her into getting rid of it.
Oh, the producer guy or the
Yeah.
publisher, yeah.
So in that dream sequence, like she didn't want to get rid of it, but he was trying to talk her into it. It was an abortion, I guess.
And then it flip flops later. No, it looks like a birth in that one.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
it
dream
was a birth
sequence.
in the dream sequence.
But I think it's
It
set up
might
as
have
an
been a
abortion
birth,
both
yeah.
ways.
It was set up as an abortion, and I guess she was just giving birth.
We
to
got
a
David
maggot.
Cronenberg cameoing as a gynecologist in that scene.
That's true.
Director.
I read that after.
I read that after, and then I was like, I can't be bothered to go. Actually,
Yeah, I thought it was the doctor that she visited later.
No, that was
but
a
then I was like,
different
he's like a tall, like very weird, leathery-looking guy.
So then later, she just wants to have a straight out abortion at night, and there's like questions being raised, as they should be. Like they're not being
Roe v.
upfront
Wade,
about these
Brad.
things.
Roe v. Wade.
Dwayne Wade of the Miami Heat.
No, I mean, yeah, it's
It's just the fact-
confusing
it
because
just
it's a
seems-
night
it's a
abortion.
night
Yeah,
abortion.
one of those-
And he's
yeah.
like, one of those night abortions. What's going on here?
You know, it's like
It
you know,
raises
like
questions.
night court. You got night abortion.
Oh no, is that a show? I don't want to watch that at all.
No,
But
it
somehow
sounds like
Jeff
a really
Goldblum
bad
knows
ER.
about this, so he like while she's in the
He's got fly
exam room,
senses or
yeah,
something.
his-
Yeah,
his
he's like, why would you
fly
get rid of
sense is tingling.
Brundlefly's son? It's the only kid I'll ever have. I'll never exist anymore.
It's the only piece of Brundle that'll ever exist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For whatever reason, he's very adamant that she'd not have the abortion.
he's like
So
I'm
much
turning into a
so,
fly.
he busts through the glass
It's like
wall.
yeah.
Yeah,
And it's like set up like in a way where it's like something's gonna be happening in that wall. Gina Davis is like off to the right side. There's just a big giant glass wall there for like a few seconds.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he hops on through it.
I did jump a little bit when that
Oh, yeah.
happened. Mm-hmm. It's kind of freaky.
So he jumps in, grabs her, and then leaps out. Like everyone else rushes into the room in time to see him like jump off the building with her.
Right. But we didn't say that her motivation for like 100% wanting to do the abortion is she tried to tell him that she was pregnant, and he was like, you should get out of here because I will most likely hurt you.
Yeah, he did understand that he was kind of losing control of his.
Andy and I touched for a second.
It was really funny.
Touched hands. It felt good. What were we
That
saying?
he was losing control of himself. Like he's like the fly brain is starting to take over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you guys tell me?
He's starting. He goes to that like Franz Kafka-esque speech.
Yeah, I was gonna
about-
say. Can
about
you
he
tell
was-
me about the fly politician?
He talks about how insects don't have politics, but he wants to be the first ever fly politician. But
Yeah.
he feels like he was always been a fly. He's never been a man.
I thought he
He's
was
just-
setting up a joke, and I was like, "Where's the punchline?" She was like, "I don't understand what you're saying," and I was like, "I also don't understand what you're saying."
We're like, I can really relate to you, Gina Davis.
Have you ever heard of insect politics? Neither have I. Insects don't have politics. They're very brutal. No compassion. No compromise. We can't trust the insect. I'd like to become the first insect politician. You see, I'd like to, but, I'm afraid,
I don't know what you're trying to say.
He's trying to make some sort of statement about something that doesn't
Yeah.
translate very well about politics. and
we
I
wouldn't
don't
get it
even
'cause
know.
we're not a
You're
fly.
just crazy.
He is just crazy.
Yeah.
He was being crazy.
And I'm totally off track about what I was gonna say. Oh, the Kafka thing.
Yeah.
He has a pretty interesting line that he just felt he feels more fly than man.
Mm-hmm.
It's his true self or whatever. It's always existed.
Yeah.
He's always been fly man. This has always been me, Gina Davis.
I don't get that, though. I don't
Nobody
get
does.
what
It's
you
just-
mean.
it's confusing.
Yeah, no, it's just showing you like that
It's
the
nonsense
fly
talk.
brain is really starting to take over. Yeah, that he's going crazy and just becoming Flyman.
Yeah.
He's like,
I kind of want them to just call this movie Flyman.
All right, yeah. Brundlefly. They should have called it Brundlefly.
No, the fly is
So-
fine.
So he takes Gina Davis back to his lair, which is a lair at this point.
Yeah, I guess it is.
What do flies live in? Just nothing?
Lofts with garbage wrappers everywhere.
And that's where he reveals his new plan, which is
Yeah, what a great, crazy idea.
to
this
get them
guy
all
had.
in the teleporter and mutate them all into one giant blob of a person. Then we all three could live together in one body.
Yeah, that was insane.
Like he escalated that real quick, and I was like, "Oh my god, get out of
He's
there!"
insane.
We'll be the nuclear family in one person.
Oh boy,
Brundlefly, Gina Davis, and her son.
son of fly.
That was insane. That whole sequence was crazy. And that also,
You're
at the
just
same
like
time...
like watching. I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Boy, oh, yeah.
No.
But he has that superhuman strength where he'll latch onto you and you won't be able
And
to...
then his face falls
Yeah.
apart and turns into an
Oh
actual
shit!
fly.
That way, yeah. When she's like trying to push him away and just knocks his jaw off,
my
and he's
gosh.
like, "Surprise! I'm a fly!"
underneath a human.
And that's when she's like, "Oh my god, this was a big mistake."
Yeah, that's like the last moment that he can talk, like his jaw's gone. And he just breaks apart into this crazy looking thing, which I was happy for because he was wearing so much foam.
Yeah. There was a lot of foam on a
Yeah.
Goldblum face.
Yeah.
How about that news journalist guy's arm being
Right.
melted?
I was
man?
gonna
That
talk
makes
about that.
So yeah, so the her editor decides now's the time for him to switch to hero, and he like gets a shotgun.
You're rooting for him too at this point in the
yeah,
film.
yeah. You want Gina Davis to be safe. You don't want her to turn into
You're
a
not
blob
gonna root
monster.
for that blob
no.
thingy.
No. So yeah.
Necrophilia, you're rooting for the necrophilia rapist,
Even
man.
if he's gonna claim her body, dead or alive,
At least he's not a fly man.
Yeah.
he's not the gross one.
So he,
Oh, jeez.
that's the real message of this
Oh,
movie.
jeez.
I don't know. I didn't make it. I did not make this movie.
So yeah, he busts in with his shotgun and just gets taken down by the fly immediately. He's like, "I'll get you!" Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah, he's
And-
too like he just knocks the gun out of his hand.
Grabs
basically.
it.
He just grabs it, yeah. And the guy tries like when he's trying to aim, and I was like, "Yeah, what were you doing?"
Then he just spits his fly goo all over his hand.
Oh yeah, so
And
it
that
just
stuff dissolves it
his hand
within seconds.
It's like a minute scene, maybe even longer, of just cuts between him spitting goo, the arm melting, and the guy's reaction of screaming.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
the hand slowly getting more and more less of a hand.
and then he dissolves his foot.
Yeah, that was like he's just standing over him. He's like, "All right, time to torture this guy a little bit now," and just starts dissolving.
He starts
his
reaching
foot.
for the gun for his foot, and you're like, oh no, what are you doing? Sticking that thing
And
out
then
there for the fly to get at.
Yeah, dissolves the foot. Then he moves up to like his face, and he's just about to dissolve his face, and that's when
And Gina
is like,
Davis pops out.
"Do it. He's
She's
a
like,
human, not
she's
a
like
fly man."
on the roof somehow, which I was like, how did she get?
She was up there
there
the whole time. The fly grabbed her when
Oh,
she
and
was
left her up
and left her up there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, and this is like one of my favorite moments in this movie.
When the fly climbs up the wall to grab her.
Yeah, because she's like, how am I supposed to get down? And then it's just a cut scene because they were like, we can't really shoot this the way we want to. So she's like, how am I going to get down? Plot hole, cut.
I thought he
He's
climbs
jumping
back
down.
up there.
No, he's like, he snatches her and brings her down.
Oh, okay.
It's like a cut scene where they were like, we can't shoot this section. So let's just edit between that point and that part.
All right.
So she buys producer guy some time and saves his face.
Yes, and she's thrown in the teleporter.
She gets thrown violently into that teleporter.
He turns. He
he
goes
hops
into the
into the other one.
teleporter.
He was in the other one. I was confused about that. Why?
Oh, this.
There's a third
this
one. There's a
whole-
mysterious
There
third.
is a third
Oh,
one.
you're okay.
There's
There's an
one
A, B, and
shot
C
where
one.
you get to see all three of them.
And there's even on the computer screen, it
I
goes through
missed
the whole
that
plan
somehow,
of what's
yeah.
going to happen. Combining thing A to thing B to make thing
right,
C.
right.
Yes.
Which weirded me
So
out.
this whole sequence was amazing and
Yes.
confusing. The guy ends up getting the strength
News
to
reporter guy.
grab the shotgun, and he shoots the wires that connect Gina Davis with
Her pod to the
with
controller.
Goldblum's
Yeah.
pod. So then what happens is he goes through the teleporter anyway.
Well, he tries to get out.
tries to get out,
but
which
a
is-
piece of him is still in the teleporter.
Right.
Right. And so he basically fuses with the other teleporter.
I thought like he was holding the door to his pod, and so he fused with the door of that pod.
I think so
It's
too.
possible he fused with the door, but the
Yeah.
computer said Brundlefly fused with teleporter.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
I was like,
the...
what?
He's got the thing stuck out of his back.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's like, oh,
they're like
boy.
metal pieces and stuff.
Yep.
I was like, how did this happen?
I was confused about that because that's an inanimate object, which he had mastered teleporting at that. Like that.
well,
But
but he
teleported
didn't.
inside of him.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was gonna say too. Like he's teleported before. Like what his clothes would have fused, but I think he teleported naked, so that wouldn't. That's not actually.
Maybe if he would have put like a shirt and a tie together and then transported it, would have made a
but-
shirt tie
but this might
combination
be
infusion.
different.
Yeah, but
though.
his first explanation was that the computer got two different sets of DNA and was confused, so it fused them. And
But this might-
a door doesn't have DNA.
That's true.
He never teleported an inanimate object and an organic
Yes,
object
that's true.
until this
He
moment.
did. So this could just be a new
I
bug.
think it's a new.
bug.
Yeah, I
Get
think
it?
it's new.
It's a new bug.
I don't
bug.
get it.
Got a brand new bug.
And so it like flops out of the machine, just like.
And it does
yeah.
the kill
Crazy.
me. It says the kill me
Yeah.
noise from the original Fly movie.
And I know what they're
Pulls the
doing.
shotgun up
I
to its
know what
head.
they're doing, but I was like, if you have a man turning into a fly, also fusing with like a metal teleporter door, like how is he still alive at this moment?
I don't think he would have been alive for long, but he was.
He
you
only
know.
wasn't alive for long after that. Gina Davis blows his head off.
She did.
And this movie, it's like shotgun credits.
It
was.
was. I was like, whoa, this movie's over.
And I
We
thought
don't know
that
what's
was
gonna
the
happen
right
to
thing to
anything.
do. Like I did not want any kind of epilogue to this movie. I think it was.
Well,
like-
you see the second. There's in the second one. There's a baby fly.
Yeah.
yeah, I did kind of want an epilogue.
I
Not
watched
the
the
huge
sequel.
one.
I loved it. I loved.
I don't want to watch the sequel because I read the plot, and I don't want to. I don't want to.
You said you wanted to, and then now you don't want to.
No. I want to talk about the original, The
Okay.
Fly, the 1958,
All right.
The Fly.
I don't know if I've ever
The
seen
Vincent
the
Price,
original.
The Fly.
Yeah.
I've never seen it, but I did watch
You
a
should
couple
watch
clips.
it. Let's watch the last 30 minutes of it. You'll get the gist.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched a couple clips. I read the plot, and this one takes a little bit of a different direction. When he teleports, he basically transforms part of himself and part of the fly,
Yeah.
and they fuse together, and then also part of the fly and part of himself go into the other teleporter. So
Yes.
it's like
Ah,
they
yeah, yeah.
switch
Bits
some
of each
parts.
other, yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to say that in the first part. Maybe I didn't come clear enough, but yeah.
Oh,
His
okay.
top half, his head, flips with the fly's body.
Yes.
So he's walking around with the fly head the whole time.
yeah, and it looks bad.
And then the fly's walking around with his body all the time.
and it looks bad.
Or his top half, rather, yeah.
And the ending is that
He's caught in the spider web.
yeah, he gets
Little fly
crushed
guy.
by like a steel plate.
He kills himself.
He kills himself, and then the other one gets caught in a spider web.
Sad.
And a
Dark
detective finds him, realizes that the one lady didn't kill this scientist guy, and he ends up crushing the fly version of him with a rock because he's like, no, maybe this is better. Just
Smush it.
end
Just like
this thing.
just end this guy.
He does say "kill me" when he's like caught in the spider web.
Yes,
thing.
he does.
There's a big old fake spider coming towards him.
Yeah, he does say that. Can you guys believe there are 5 The Fly movies?
I was gonna ask if
There's
anybody
5
actually
of
looked it
them?
up.
There are
Total
5
Fly movies. Total
The
Fly
Fly movies.
How many are sequels of the remake?
2. Wait, 1. No, there's only Fly.
just
the
Son of the
Fly,
Fly?
The Fly and Fly 2.
The Fly 2.
Okay.
But there are 3 from like the 50s
I
and
did
60s.
read that. I think mentioned that in the trivia where they're like, after the 3 other Fly movies, they made this one. I was like, there were 3 before this one.
Yeah.
Good God.
Yeah. And I tried to think about it because that one came out in 58. This one came out in 86. And I was like, that's 27 years. So
We're due for a Fly movie, is what you're trying to say.
yeah, maybe.
We got to get another Fly movie in the works.
Yeah.
Who would play Jeff Goldblum's part?
Jeff
in the new one?
Goldblum.
Oh, you're going bold with that one.
It's a shot for shot.
Yeah,
remake.
shot for shot remake.
when
That's
there's
where Jeff
older-
Goldblum's
Get
older.
David Cronenberg to come back and reshoot it. It'd be great.
Well, he has talked about making a sequel to the original Fly, not a remake, but just a
Okay.
sequel. He has a script apparently, and he's had one for like 6 years.
I mean,
but he's
scripts
like,
to all movies exist at some
yeah,
point.
well, he wrote it himself, and he was saying it's on Fox if they want to make it, which I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's time. If this movie came out in like 3 iterations before this one,
Yeah.
and this one made money, it did
yeah.
not make money, and I was trying to think of what. I was trying to put myself in a theater while this was happening, sitting around other people watching this horrific thing, and be like, that'd be a little weird.
Yeah.
In 1986.
yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
like, this movie's uncomfortable.
I think the 80s were just a time for weird, gory movies.
I mean, you
though.
had like
Lawlessness.
There's a
yeah.
lot
the
of
Thing. I mean, I can't imagine it's turning.
Well, nobody saw that movie, but yeah.
Really? No one
Yeah,
saw that movie?
Didn't make any money.
Oh man, that movie's so good.
It came out right after E.T., and people didn't want to see a scary alien
Yeah.
movie. They wanted to see a fun alien movie.
Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, both are great though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Different effects guys, though, from The Fly. This guy won the Academy Award.
He did.
Yes.
And then he went on to direct the sequel,
Ah.
which was the only movie he ever did. Yeah.
Boy, ooh.
Yeah.
My understanding is he also was responsible for the face melting scene in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That might be true.
That makes
I mean, he has a
sense.
lot of special effects.
Yeah, like
credits,
that's
too.
and
that's his.
They use like the
job.
same.
He's good at
technique-
melting body parts.
Right, they use the same technique they use for that face melt for the arm in this
Oh,
one.
okay.
Where it's like it's actually like fast motion basically. They filmed it like this stuff just melting under hot lights and then just sped up the footage.
Oh, that's really cool. Because that's what his job was, is special effects. So it's possible that he did that. He had a lot of credits under there. Only one directing credit. though.
Oops. Not-
Yeah.
It's not for him.
No, not for everybody.
Yeah. This movie is great. I liked it a lot. I know Brad said he felt like it took a long time.
It was a simple little movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked that. There
It was a
was
simple little movie.
Did you guys watch it together?
No.
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 But I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd really like go out of my way to watch it again, but I liked it.
Yeah, I
There's
could see
elements in
myself
there that are
like
okay.
many years down the road maybe checking it out.
I might
again.
watch it up to the point where he turns into the Fly, but then it's like, I kind of get what's going to happen now.
Yeah.
You're like, I think he's
It's
probably going
pretty-
to turn into a fly.
I like everything.
no surprise there.
I like Goldblum acting as Goldblum.
Yes,
I don't
I
like
can agree with that.
Brundlefly.
Goldblum
I like
acting as
Brundle.
Goldblum, I was like, I'm on board.
Oh man,
with this.
I say that
Yeah.
every time I see him in anything. I'm like, give me more Goldblum all day.
Yeah,
I want more Bloom being
He's
Bloom.
great.
That's what his personal friends call him. They call him Bloom.
Bloom. Mm-hmm. Orlando Bloom?
Yes,
Does he call him Bloom?
probably. I think so.
Here comes the Bloom, starring Kevin James. We need to end this podcast right now.
Join us next week for Here Comes the Bloom.
Thanks for rating, liking, and subscribing, and sharing our podcast. If you know someone who likes one of the movies we've talked about, go ahead and share it with them. Spread the word. If you have comments or questions on any of our episodes, email us, whatrememberpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe we'll feature your question on the show. Our next movie has the tagline, The Biggest Kick of the Year. We watched The Big Green.
Something radical finally happened in this town.
Nothing radical ever happens in this town.
Wrong.
In a place like Elma,
That's a code red.
a little news
I'm the new teacher. No way.
can be a big event.
Don't waste your time with us.
I can rip the whole ABCs.
We're losers.
And just one person
Well, why don't we just try something else?
can make a world of difference.
Where'd you learn to do that?
Walt Disney Pictures presents
This is a soccer ball.
the story of the worst soccer team
We don't play soccer.
to ever hit the field.
Oh, you're showing such potential. That's the team we're playing?
They got little kids and girls on the team.
Their goalie is starting to see things.
I'm not feeling so good about this.
That's a bird. Keep him down.
Their captain wants to quit.
Can we get out of here? This is embarrassing.
And even their newest player
I'm your man.
is shooting blanks. Go for the kill. But playing for the smallest town in the state
He brought a goat.
is about to become
They're nothings from nowhere.
We're not the nothings from nowhere. We're the Alma Nothings.
the biggest kick of their lives.
What's that? Come on, come on.
Maybe I can get into this. Kick it out.
From the people who brought you Disney's Angels in the Outfield.
Hey, you know, they're getting better.
Now we got ourselves a real game.
Walt Disney Pictures, The Big Green.